Hey guys! If you've ever been anywhere near TikTok lately, you've probably seen a lot of this.
Y'all, the Shein package that I was waiting for arrived, so let's open it. And it's really heavy, so...
Welcome to the world of
Shein. Yes, I don't think it's Shein. Shein is how I tend to pronounce it.
Shein isn't just fast fashion, it's ultra fast. You can get dresses for €5, bags for $6, or corsets for $3. If you want a nose ring for 75 cents, this is your jam.
Gen Z has pretty much gone bananas for this company, which exists entirely more or less on social media, has no physical stores, and whose operations are more or less a big black box.
There's something going on with Shein that, I don't think that anybody has got to the bottom of.
We took a dive into this fast fashion phenomenon and what it bodes for the environment. In an era of growing climate consciousness, how is this even happening?
Honestly, I didn't even know about Shein until doing this story. But then again, I'm a millennial, and this jacket's from 2002.
So I went to the center of Berlin to see if shoppers there knew better than I did.
Do you know what Shein is?
No. Yes, of course. It's a big online fashion store.
Do you shop there?
Manchmal ja, da sind schöne Sachen. Ist günstig, schöner Stoff. I think I've shopped there once. I wanted to return everything, but there's not really any point when you pay like €20.
Shein mostly targets young women. It adds thousands of new things to its inventory every day. At any one time, it has as many as 600,000 products. With a typical price tag between $8 and $30, its stuff can be half as cheap as other fast fashion giants.
And what is different is that the explosion of young people with phones, it helped with product discovery.
This is Sucharita Kodali, an expert at all things e-commerce and parent of 2 Gen Z girls.
But Shein's also, from my understanding, paid quite a bit for marketing.
Its social media strategy centers around getting celebrities and influencers to market the brand on social media. Katy Perry, Lil Nas X, Rita Ora, Storm Reid, and Yara Shahidi have all gotten on the Shein train.
Please don't forget to buy your Shein Together t-shirt.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Shein Together event.
But the biggest part of its online presence has to do with the haul. On TikTok, users post reels that show off what they ordered and what they got.
I bought $2,000 worth of stuff, and that is my box.
A lot of these go viral, creating a marketing campaign that basically runs itself.
The beaded choker looks pretty good though. It's not that bad. I could
So you have this very addictive algorithm, influencers, and young women.
Maxine Beida is the go-to expert on the fashion and garment industry.
It's a very impressionable age where they want to fit in, and clothing companies have utilized that insecurity to drive a lot of sales, but never to the extreme that we're now seeing.
The Shein hashtag on TikTok has 17 billion views. Its Instagram account has over 22 million followers. This year, it was the #1 shopping app in 56 countries. It reportedly made $10 billion in revenue last year, which means it's catching up to competitors like H&M and Zara. Shein has dominated fast fashion in the West, but its headquarters? They're halfway across the globe in Guangzhou, China. And what happens there? Well, nobody really knows.
They're very secretive. They don't talk to anybody, so it's very hard to know exactly what they're doing.
Usually, fast fashion companies take a month to get an item from design to store, but analysts say Shein cuts that time to as little as a week. It uses powerful algorithms to predict trends, and sometimes doesn't even start manufacturing until the order is placed.
There is no magic, right? The only way that you get very cheap product is by not paying workers and flouting any environmental standards.
They have to hire a lot of temporary workers, and they have to subcontract it to other small factories and house workshops.
Wu Peiyue is one of the only journalists who went to Shein's production sites in Guangzhou to investigate their labor practices. She found a disparate web of crowded workshops underpaying people without official contracts.
It's not that Shein has child labor, Shein has abused their workers. The issue is those workers, they are not in the social welfare system.
This means workers have no rights or guarantees. The demand for cheaper, faster clothing means that wages in the industry have to be low to remain competitive.
It's not only about Shein, but it's a more social issues prevail in the whole society.
Turns out the company's been making headlines for its secrecy. The Fashion Transparency Index, which rates companies on how open they are about their supply chains, listed Shein at the bottom of its rankings.
And what about the actual clothes? If it's too good to be true, then it probably is.
You cannot have a business model like that and operate in any way with respect to the planet or its people. You just can't.
Plenty of people have taken to social media to protest the shoddy quality of its clothes.
Honestly, I thought just the swimsuits were gonna be trash. I could not be more disappointed. This is a piece of crap.
So if it's that disposable, it means they're all getting dumped somewhere. Almost 100 million tons of textiles end up in landfills every year. That's 500 evergreen ships. Remember that thing that got stuck in the Suez Canal? Most of it goes to the global south, where locals suffer the environmental consequences. And did you know that the fashion industry is responsible for 8 to 10% of greenhouse gas emissions? The garment industry is so unregulated that it's hard to say just how much it's contributing to climate change. All we can say that Shein is accelerating it like never before.
It's a very energy-intensive process to create textiles. This production is happening in places like principally China with a coal, continues to have a coal-based energy grid.
But it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. The average consumer today buys 60% more than they did in 2000. Brands are now throwing double the amount of clothing collections at us.
And Shein takes this to a whole new level. It taps into the insatiable consumerism that's shaped our world. The need to possess things, and when we're sick of it, to simply throw it away. I asked some young shoppers whether they thought about climate change.
Nicht wirklich. Einfach kaufen und dann, wenn das Wetter sagt, ja, das und dann zieh ich es einfach an.
Nein. Ehrlich zu sein, wirklich nein.
I care really lot. I pay good meat and from the regional products.
And what about clothing?
Nothing changed yet.
Why not?
Low budget.
We're all students, so we're pretty low on the funds, but when I get a real job one day, I want to be more aware.
Warum soll ich für etwas mehr Geld ausgeben, wenn ich es auch so anders haben kann?
Girl's got a point. Not everyone can afford to think about sustainability. The rise of Shein might be breaking a myth we have about the next generation's climate commitment.
It is a very tall order to ask young people to do the right thing when the messaging is so intense to do something different.
When you actually look at the data, kids like 18 to 24 are more environmentally conscious and savvy, but it's actually lower than people who are like 25 to 35. And it's not just kids. I can't just blame kids. Nobody asks the right question.
So what does the future bode for Shein then?
God.
That kind of success can only last for a while.
The education level is getting higher. The demands for reporting are getting more, and they are going to hit up against that.
I think legislators will step up and make the rules necessary, but that takes people's participation. I've seen humans have a capacity from this to really put their heads in the sand. How do you bring those people in a way that's actually engaging and non-judgmental?
Now, a few questions for you. Have you heard about Shein, or have you shopped there yourself? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe. See you next time.